Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Blue Bud Wisdom Show, a podcast created to share simple tools to break you free from the mind chatter, reclaim your divinity, and support your journey to freedom and happiness. I'm your host, Ellyn Katherine, spiritual wealth catalyst and healer. Now let's jump into your dose of ancient wisdom. Hi everyone. I know that I'm a little late with this episode, and the reason why was because I was guided to wait. I thought that my ego side was saying maybe I should just wait until season 2, but my guides were clearly telling me to just wait, and now I know why. I'm not sure if everybody here is aware of what's going on currently with protesters and with what's actually happening in our world. But I am going to talk about something that is a little controversial, and you may or may not agree, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. And what I'm going to be stating is what I see and what is my opinion in what is actually happening. Now, before I actually get into this whole topic that I want to talk about, the reason why I was guided to talk about it today is because I was at my mom's, and the protesters actually were passing by her neighborhood. And as soon as I heard them, I ran out into the balcony. I was cheering on for them and really touched. I actually started crying a little because I saw how beautiful it was that everybody was uniting. Even the people who were not part of the protest walking on the street stopped and cheered on for these protesters. And it was that scene itself that just made me feel like, wow, we are all one, and we just need to see that. And there are so many people that are blocked from this perspective. So I thought by, sharing how I see it might help other people be able to maybe change their perspective or try to change their perspective so that we can start to unite as one, which is what is happening right now globally, and it's just so beautiful. So that's the reason why I felt like this is what I needed to share with you at this moment. I feel like it's a positive attribute to what's going to come, and this is why. I don't agree, first of all, I want to state that I don't agree with the violence and the vandalism. I don't think that it's the best approach. But there is a side that I understand of why it's happening. And this actually came up in conversation with my father, who is very much against all of what's happening right now. And talking to him made me realize that this is something that a lot of people probably don't see, because we have our emotions really tied to what's good or bad, what's right or wrong. We may also have our emotions tied to an event that could have occurred with a colored person. So I'm going to tell you, I was robbed at gunpoint by a colored person a few years ago. I was with, at that time, my boyfriend, and we were coming home very late. I had a feeling something was happening at the time when this man who approached, or who actually entered the building, that something wasn't right. But I didn't follow my gut, and we ended up getting robbed at gunpoint. And I feel like I kind of left my body at the moment that was happening, because it completely froze, and I was in so much shock. And after that, I really started hating them. But as I went into my spiritual path, I realized, number one, I forgave him, And I forgave myself for having that type of thought process or feeling. But I came to the understanding that these people, they're acting out because of the fear that they have built up when they were children, because of the emotions that they have about how they're being treated, and nobody can see that, or most people don't see that. But I understand it because I'm looking at my child and I see how he literally copies everything that we do. He follows everything, he mimics everything, and it makes me understand that children absorb everything from our emotions, our fears, how we treat other people. They will mimic it. And so when these colored people were growing up, and because it's a ripple effect, their parents were probably really angry towards whites or other races that have mistreated them. And this has happened down, many, many, many years in our history, that just keeps on moving up and up and up. And every parent teaches their child how to be safe from white people or how to stand in their power. And, some may also be so angry towards other people that they teach their own kids that white people are bad. And so these children grow up with the understanding and the energy behind white people being bad or other people being bad or them not being understood or them being mistreated. And they grow up with that kind of mindset, and it just becomes a ripple effect. And it moves on and on and on. And it needs to stop. It's got to stop. Because we are all one mind in different bodies. And I know that's a really tough concept to understand, but it's one that I came to learn as I questioned everything. I questioned where we learned all this information, because gurus and spiritual teachers, they're all teaching the same thing and everybody's just following the same path of knowledge. And one day, this was actually a couple weeks ago, I woke up and thought, what is love? Where did love is light or light is love come from? Where did we learn all this stuff? Like, what is the truth behind all this? And I went digging and asking myself, and the pieces started coming together. I got the answers, and it makes total sense. I basically just redefined the meaning of love. So I wasn't really going to share the new definition on here, but I just heard from my guides that I have to. So I'm going to tell you what it is that I learned about the true meaning behind love and how I got this. So I'll start with this. Mathematics is the language of the universe, which means that each letter of the English alphabet possesses a numerical value. So what I did was I broke down the letters in the word love into its corresponding numerical value of the phonetic value from the Hebrew alphabet. Now, the Hebrew alphabet contains 22 letters, which carry energetic frequencies that have been decoded to reveal mystical energetic vibrations and meanings, which are all seen in all creation, including ourselves, as each human is a mini universe. So, using this concept, the meaning of love is broken down in three things: learning lessons, bridging feminine and masculine energies, and it contains the three elements of earth, fire, and air. Now, this made me wonder, where did the water element come from? Because we all know that we are a mixture of all four elements. So as I started to think about it, I realized that we, the humans on the earth plane, are made up of the element water, because we are basically made up of 80%, maybe even more, of water and a mix of earth, fire, and air elements. The human on the earth plane is the divine child and the harmonic balance of divine masculine and feminine energies, along with the three other elements. And we find balance when we broaden our horizons, educate ourselves, increase our curiosity to learn from everything and everybody. Therefore, we can understand deeply from the heart and listen to our inner voice. So in essence, we are learning lessons. When we are adaptable, we strengthen our skill to make peace and are able to bring together and consolidate the opposites to find a middle ground on the physical plane. So for example, duality. There is no good or bad, right or wrong. Things are just the way they are. So finding a middle ground to finding peace to the experience and learning the lesson will also help to apply wisdom and inspire harmony between knowledge and experience. Pretty powerful, right? So again, we as humans bridge that on the physical plane with us being water, the divine child. So why am I telling you this? Because when I broke down the word love, having the understanding that the word itself has the breakdown of learning lessons and being in a neutral position, not being carried by our emotions, having the harmonic balance of the feminine and masculine energies, which allow us to convert knowledge into wisdom and to be able to really understand deeply of what it is that we are experiencing here as an experience. This is such a powerful meaning of what love really is, because when we get into that standpoint of knowledge turned into wisdom and having that harmonic balance of feminine and masculine energies, we as the divine child, when we look at all the things that are happening right now in the observing mode and being able to redefine the experiences that we've had before and just understand it as an experience and not look at it as it was a bad or a good experience, or keep emotions tied and attached to these things that are happening in our lives. When we detach and we can really understand what is happening and how to be able to maneuver through that with our newly found wisdom, we can really just become the divine child that we were meant to be on the earth plane, in the physical world. And I find it really interesting because we are right now in the golden age, the age of Aquarius. This is such a powerful, powerful, energetic time, because as consciousness is greatly increasing, we require a new standard of living when we are now entering into the golden age. And the new standard of living is being united as one. So I am not surprised that this protest is happening. I am not surprised that this is all happening right now during Corona. I mean, Corona had to be the beginning driving force to start something, right? And I mentioned that, I think, a long time ago when I first started out in my recordings, that this is something that was needed. It's a revolution. So this was the first thing that had to happen. Now people are out of jobs. People don't have much to do. People are not wasting their time being stressed about work. They're able to root for a cause. And this Black Lives Matter protest is such a powerful, powerful protest, because if you can look at it in the observing mode and really try to take yourself out of any emotional attachment that you might have towards the colored people that may have hurt you in the past, and can see it in a different perspective and try to understand where they are coming from and be more compassionate and maybe even stand by them during this time, it will really, really help for all of us to unite. As we get into the fifth dimensional consciousness, unification is fifth dimensional consciousness, and we are getting there. We are moving down that path no matter what. It is so strong right now and so important that we actually can look outside of what we feel, if it's in the positive or negative state of mind, and just see it in a perspective of a revolution that needed to happen. It's a revolution that is helping humanity have a new standard of living, a new standard that's going to really make people so much happier. And a lot of people don't like change. We want change, we want things to be better, we want to live happier. But for whatever reason, the word change scares the living bejesus out of people, because it involves going through something totally different without knowing what the outcome is going to be. But I see that as a beauty. I see going through change as such a beautiful thing, especially if you can really look at the word and the meaning behind the word love. I was really shocked when I saw how powerful that meaning was. And also the word light. I'm not going to go into what the word light is, but the word light itself also has the meaning of learning lessons. And again, lessons are not, to hurt anyone. We all go through experiences to teach us and to move us into a higher state of consciousness. And what a lot of people are forgetting is that there are different stages to go through, and there are different things that we need to see in order for us to be able to go through those stages. That's why being an observer and being aware and really seeing what the life lessons are and will do for you make a huge difference. And that's why I absolutely love my game. Like I'm just finished. I actually finished putting it all together, and I'm starting the pregame July 6th. I saw my game in the program, and I'm so excited because I was able to bridge the science behind the woo-woo concepts. I understand completely how the body works, how the energy fields work with the brain. They're not separate. And I know how to connect it so that you can make your transformation easy. And having the life lessons is a huge tool to really make transformation easy. You don't have to be scared because you know what you're doing. You know what you're looking for. You know how to transform the thoughts that you once had as negative into a different perspective. And you can look at that and really be able to start trusting more in your experiences and in the divine guidance and in everything that is happening. Without love, you cannot trust. Without love, you cannot flow, because you have no idea what's going on. And you do not know how to be able to turn your knowledge into wisdom and have that harmonic balance. So I was really heartfelt when I saw the protests passing by. I was on the balcony and I was cheering them on. I was cheering them all on. I was in tears because I saw how just them being united, I feel it in my heart, such a huge, huge step in a revolution. It's a huge step in making change. And even though we had to go through the vandalism and the violence, it was a stepping stone for people to be taken seriously. I do not agree with it, but I can see it from a different side. And I can understand that without the violence, without the vandalism, they would not be taken seriously. And maybe that wasn't their intention because they want to be taken seriously, but that's the way I see it. That's the way I perceive it. They might have done it because they're angry. They're angry, they're frustrated. They have in their minds that they mean nothing. And they see it in their daily lives when the police can get away with, murdering their own kind or murdering their people. And really, it couldn't have come at a better time. It really couldn't have come at a better time. And again, I am not suggesting that this was the best approach, but it was the approach that they felt guided to take. And without that approach, we probably would not have anything coming up. Like, there is definitely something that's going to change. Protesters usually don't get any results unless it comes into a very serious matter. And this became a serious matter when they took things in their own hands and decided to be violent. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's the best approach, but it's happening for a reason. And if we can look at the other side of the negative parts of what's happening and look at how beautiful these people are coming together. I even saw so many white people coming into this protest, which is beautiful because it's like it's unifying everyone, or most people. And hospitals are getting involved. And the other day my sister was telling me how she didn't agree how hospitals had to get involved. And again, my perspective was, there are people that work in the hospital, and those people want to show their support. And it's beautiful because we are coming together. And I really came into tears when I saw it, and I knew right away that this is the message that I needed to give you. So I'm sorry that I'm late, and I hope that you can really take all this information that I shared with you on this episode and really kind of apply it in your life to see how you can apply this new meaning of love, the real understanding of love, how you can apply the harmonic balance between the divine and divine masculine and feminine energies, because you are the divine child. You are the divine child that can really shift how we experience our life, our world. So I'm leaving it at that. And I do welcome emails, as they say, all the time. You can always email me. And even if you don't agree with what I had to say here, it's completely fine. You didn't have to agree. But if you stay till the end and you heard what I had to say, all I ask is that you marinate on what I said. Marinate on what I shared with you. And maybe take ego out of the approach when marinating on it, to see if something does actually resonate with you. Have a safe and healthy week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me this week on the Bluebud Wisdom Podcast. Make sure to visit my website, ellynkatherine.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or via RSS so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, be sure to take a moment and give me a 5-star rating on iTunes and share or tell your friends about the show. I'd love to share the wisdom further, and your help will make that happen. Be sure to tune in next week for my next episode.